Welcome to the second video for lesson 5.6 on solving percent problems. Our second method is to use mental math, and you're going to need this to figure out, for instance, a discount. You're in a store, you go over to the clearance rack, and it says 30% off the final marked price, and you want to figure out how much that percent is. Mental math is a really good skill to have for that situation. But in order to use mental math, you need to be able to quickly figure out what 10% of a number is or 1% of a number. So here we say to find 10% of a number, simply move the decimal one place to the left. Why is this? I'm going to show you. If I asked you what 10% of 40 was, what you could do is use the previous method we talked about and multiply 40 by 10 out of 100, or 1/10. So that becomes 10 out of 100 times 40 over 1. We'll use, let's see, now we're going to cross cancel, and we can basically get rid of those, and then 10, so we're dividing the top and the bottom by 10, and then 10 will go into 40 4 times. So 10 goes into itself once, 10 goes into 40 4 times, and so we're going to end up with that equals 4 out of 1, which equals 4. Okay, so so 10% of 40 is 4. Now, if we were going to say multiply, let's ask for 30%, all we have to do, 30% of 40 equals 3 times 4 equals 12. So what we did here is 30% is 3 times 10%. We decided 10% is 4. So we just multiply 3 times 4 and we get 12. Okay. Let's do 10% of 700. All right, so we've going to rewrite that as 1/10. That's the simplified fraction. 10 over 100 simplifies to 1 over 10 times 700. And we can cross cancel. 10 goes into itself one time and into 770 times. And so we end up with 70 over 1 equals 7. So 10% of 700 is 70. 30% of 700 is 3 times 70 equals 210. Now, if this was 40%, there would be 4 times 70, or 280. Okay? Now, in all of these cases, you had 40 became 4. 700 became 70. We moved the decimal one place to the left. Okay. Now, the Oh, I want to do one more. 10% of 335 is, so we're going to go 335 one place to the left, 33.5. Now, we're going to put a table right here. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say 6. It's going to go about that far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have a table right here. I'm not going to do that until we finish with the rest of the notes. Now, to find, I talked about being able to find 1%. To find 1%, that's 1 out of 100 of a number you're going to move the decimal twice to the left. And what we're going to do is in this chart, we're going to write original, 10%, and 1%. Okay, so if our original number is 150, for 10% we move it one place, right? So that would be 15. But for 1%, we move it 2 places, so that becomes 1.5. For 1,000, you would move it one place, that becomes 100. You move it 2 places for 1%, and you have 10. For our original number, if we had 60, you'd move it one place to the left for 10% and 2 places for, I'm sorry, that's not right. It should be, yeah, it should be just 0.6. And then for, if you had a number like 8, if you're moving it one place to the left, you end up with 0.8. And for 1%, you'd have 0.08. Okay, and that's it.